people, thank you very much for coming. This has made the point about why you're here to enjoy yourselves, but you're really here to spend all your money, so don't forget. Big welcome to Tom, good friend of mine, have been for a long, long time. Me and Tom first got together at the Blues Brothers concert, and things went downhill from there rapidly. Tom's also got a good comrade from the Labour Party, Alicia Kennedy, who was the Deputy General Secretary of the Labour Party. Now she's got the much harder task of trying to keep Tom under control. So welcome to you both. Our sponsors tonight, Thompsons Solicitors, particularly Mark Fogg, give us a wave wherever you are. Thank you very much for coming and all your support and all you do for working with people. I don't think Jonathan Rifoy is here, but the people from CH2M Hill, who are very, very important people, as the sponsor. The wine. The Metro Centre has been brilliant in that they've put £100 into the draw that will be on your tables, which Liz will tell you about later on. But it's basically for £500. How much to put in the envelope, Liz? £5. A minimum of £5 in your envelope. It's a £500 gift voucher for the Metro Centre. Is John here? John Anderson?
Yes, he's in the bar.
He'll be drinking his dry Guinness. John Anderson will pay £500 for Sunderland. He wishes. No, John is people know. Great footballer, played for Newcastle, played for West Brom, and played for Ireland lots of times. A really, really good friend of us, and he'll be doing the auction later on. But Fiona Stanton, who is the Director of the Labour Party in the North East, thank you for coming, Fiona. One of the people that Liz mentioned, David Baird, who was a comrade of mine in Parliament, and before that she was an even better comrade because she beat us for the seat in Redgate, or I might not have been here tonight. But really important, Vera is standing for the Police and Crime Commissioner election. We really need to get Vera back in, because if we don't have her, we could really have problems. So good luck, Vera, we're here to help you. I'm hoping that David Dean comes. David Dean is the man who repaired my knees for me, not an easy job. He's not here yet, but hopefully we'll see him later. Big welcome to Eileen Turnbull. Where are you, Eileen? Eileen Turnbull, for those who don't know, is referred to by Ricky Tomlinson, who you'll all know, as the Ferret. Because Eileen is the brains behind the Shrewsbury 24 campaign, which is seeking to put right an injustice that's gone in this country for 43 years. And Eileen is come tonight, a great supporter of ours, and she's brought along a signed photograph from Ricky Tomlinson of the original cast of the royal family, all signed by the people on there, and that is priceless. It doesn't make sense you can't bid for it, but it's priceless. So that really, really is a great opportunity, and thank you, Eileen, and thank Ricky on our behalf. Great friends as always from the unions. I'll make the point I always do, I wouldn't be one of the unions, and we know all the pressure of the unions and ourselves are under, and the taxman's government. I'm really proud we're still working together. Unison here tonight, can I say a big welcome to them, in particular Merv Butler, who's a long-standing comrade of mine who's retiring from the union. Thank you for all you've done, Merv, and everybody else in the union. But Billy Coates and the men and women from the J&B, thank you very much again for coming, all your support. As always, my old comrades and friends from the NUM, John and Miners Associates, can sit in the corner. They'll always buy you a drink if you want one, but they'll always take one off you as well. Thank you very much, lads. Where's the fireman? Is the FPU here? Oh, the high, oh, you're very quiet, aren't you? Can I say a great big thank to FPU? Welcome back to the Labour Party. I've got a great pleasure of this. So on the election campaign last year, the men and women of the FPU were on the streets of this constituency every day helping us. Brilliant work, and thank you very much for all you do, lads, and all you do for the people we represent. We appreciate you if the government doesn't. Great welcome to comrade Samaz left. Where he is? Train was late. Right, thank you very much. UNCAT workers, where's UNCAT? Donald Trump says he's looking for bricklayers to get the job, so you have to speak in a Mexican accent though. I need more than 2 years. CWU, are you still talking to us? I'll come and get last off you later on, right? That's a bunch. Teachers Union, NESU, WT, Simon, Stevie Guy, where he is. It's time you were the Labour Party, get working on it. And until you say, I say Kevin's come back, we can't get rid of him, no matter how hard we try. Everybody else. Great big thank you to everybody from the Blaydon Labour Party in different wards where I as well. I've all stopped at home. Yes, thank you very much. And again, we need help to get these people elected in May, because we really need to keep our council solid. Thank my comrades from Parliament, Ian Mearns, Ian, where are you? Good to see you, mate. Ian Lavery. Go to the bar. Emma, is Emma here yet? Is Emma not here? She must be Sharon. Sharon's hours late and she's not coming. Right? Well, we'll give Emma a big show when she comes in Mexican wave. Comrades from Newcastle Labour Party. Are they here yet? No? Frightened by the Macam, I knew they wouldn't be. Right? Some great friends from business. This is the great thing about this event. It brings people together from the unions, from the communities, and great business supporters. Imtiaz Shah, who's a great friend as well as supporter of mine. Where are you, Imtiaz? And he's my head of wonderful people. And Nadine. We might get a song later on off Nadine. Ammar Mirza, I must say, Professor Ammar Mirza, CBA, where are you, mate? And Louise, his wife, thank you very much for all this stuff. Paul Chubb from Boomerang, he's here well. Where are you, Paul? Where's he? You want to see the suit? I tell you what, he looks like Rupert the Bear. Or Rupert the Polar Bear, basically. But, Graham Steele owns a company, works a company called Review, making literally cutting edge technology in terms of crash helmet technology, and absolutely would be an even more wealthy man than what he is if he wasn't being stopped by a combination of the Japanese government and Google from getting on with his work. And it was a big campaign for me and him to try and get the government to trade in product. We'll keep that at me. So thanks for being here tonight. But Ali was a great supporter of ours. People from the Bankers group, I can never believe I'm welcoming Bankers, because 31 years ago, me and the lads at the corner were trying to stop Bankers from working when we were with child law freezing. Now you'll know what's off. But good for you to debate tonight, guys. Good to see you. Thank you very much. People from Starbucks, Becca and Laura, who have been big supporters of the veterans group I work with. Scott Horner from Clear Space, again, a great supporter and a big friend. Right, I'm big, right? Scott, thank you for coming in. The Association of Accountants, are they here? And we've got a tax bill in sort sitting in the corner, thank you very much. Have a welcome later if you've got anything to do with Shah here. And what a big Tony Wright with a great group of veterans at the corner. Tony was a comrade of mine, shop steward of mine in Newcastle, who started chatting up to take care of veterans coming out of the Iraq and Afghanistan war, and just been a great credit to everybody he works with. A great friend of mine, Mushtaq Lasharie from London, who's come up here with Saundra Satterlee from the group on Third World Solidarity. And I want to put a big plug in, because I'll be hitting this later on. On the 11th of April, we're doing a fundraiser in London, a black tie do, to raise funds for Third World Solidarity and its 30th anniversary. If anyone get out, you're more than welcome. Mushtaq's been a huge supporter of my work up here and in London. We're also going to try and organise a dinner just before the Durham Miners Gala for a school in the village where Mushtaq was brought up in the northern part of Pakistan, to try and raise funds. So we'll be letting you know about that. It'll be a great night if people can get there. Is Jed here? Pit and show race on the red card. He's always late now, isn't he? Jed Rebbe. Anyway, where's John? John, you can race on the red card. Thank you very much. You can be there, Ambassador. Thank you very much.
Well, Dave said to me, we've had some very successful speakers at this dinner before. Ed Balls, Ed Miliband. He said, we can't get any good ones this time, so will you come? I said, yeah, okay, Dave, I'll come back. And me and Dave have got quite a strong relationship. You can probably tell that. For some reason, people think we're very similar. I don't know why that is, Dave. Do you? Sure. And over the years, he's looked after me. Well, you know, the most important thing Dave does for me in Parliament is teach me how to sing. Because those of you that know him, he's got the voice of an angel. But we do have more political similarities as well. We've both been in the Whip's office twice, which is a bit like prison. And, but he's doing a good job now, and he's keeping me in check. And Dave, I'm delighted you're here. I'm delighted you're playing a central role in this administration. People don't know this, but he helps hold the parliamentary party together day in, day out. And I'm proud to work with you, mate, and I'm proud to be here tonight. We've got other colleagues here tonight. We've got the legendary Ammar Buck, who is playing a leading role in our local government team, keeping John Trickett, the Shadow Secretary of State for Local Government, in check. Emma, I'm delighted to be here. I've got Ian here, who is leading the fight back, chairing the most political committee in Parliament, the Backbench Committee, which decides on the debates that our backbench MPs have in Westminster. You can imagine what that's like. You could be running the United Nations and doing a better job there. It's very tense, but it helps us hold the government to account. And I'm really pleased my colleague and friend from my team, Ian Lavery, is here. Ian has probably got the most important job in Westminster, which is mapping out our manifesto commitments for new industrial legislation in the 2020 government that will be led by Jeremy Corbyn. It's a big job. But if anyone can hold that consensus together and face the challenges that working people face in Parliament, it's Ian. You know, none of you will remember a word I said when I came here 3 years ago. But I did thank the Durham miners. And I said to the Durham miners that, thank you, the best day of my life was when I was asked to address the gala back in, was it 2012? I can't remember. And back in 2012, in that Durham miners gala speech, I said, the Labour movement is at its best when it marches the same banner. And I called on the FBU and the RMT to come back into the Labour Party. And at the time, they rejected it. And Matt Rapp actually said to me, the General Secretary of the FBU, he said, when you've got John McDonnell and Jeremy Corbyn on the front bench, we'll think about it. And then we both laughed, because we thought it would never happen. Well, I'm glad to see the FBU back here tonight. It's great to have you back here. And I'm speaking again at the gala this year. We're doing a double act, me and Jezza. A lot of people ask, he sends his regards, by the way. He sends his regards. I told him I was here tonight. He said, tell them I won't be able to attend because I'm spending the weekend with David Cameron's mum's tailor. He said, I'm going to turn up to parliamentary Prime Minister's questions on Wednesday in full Bullingdon Club, top hat and tails. So wouldn't that be brilliant if he does that? I don't think he will though. He's only got one jacket. And when we do PMQs, it's a nightmare PMQs for me, right? Because I try and keep a straight face for 38 minutes, right? That's how long it lasts these days. And you just try and, like, you know, Tory, insult Jeremy, keep a straight face, wash over you, keep a straight face. But there are sometimes you just get distracted. And I've been trying to work out strategies, and I bet not, I'll say this, right, what I do, he's got very interesting footwear as Jeremy, and he wears very unusual socks. And he's got his favourite Prime Minister's question socks that he wears most Wednesdays. They're tartan. I've never known a leader of the Labour Party wear tartan socks, not even John Smith. So I just try and stare at his socks, and then if I get distracted from the socks, that's when I get into trouble. So if you ever see me looking miserable down at the ground, I'm just concentrating on his socks. But he does send his regards, and we do get on. And for me, his leadership it's done anything. It's freed our minds. It's unleashed an energy in the movement and in the party that means we can dream again. And we can begin to imagine what a different kind of society looks like. And that's so important to us. Because if we are going to win a general election again, we need to come up with a new notion for what a socialist society can look like. And we need to be credible on the economy if we're going to do that. And there have been big and profound changes in the economy that the Tories don't understand, and we have yet to win the argument on. It seems to me that the economy, as it stands, is looking more and more like an hourglass. At the top, you've got a widening group of people who are wealthy or who have access to capital. And then at the lower end, you've got a growing number of people in a flattening group who are on lower wages with fewer working rights and poor working conditions. And then in the middle, it's been holiday. Jobs that we used to think were secure, like in accountancy or in high street banking or in retail, they're going. And we used to think they were going because that was the downside of globalisation. But in the last 6 months, in the last 2 years, there's been a lot of studies that are saying actually what's going on in the economy is a new phenomenon. Massive automation. The digital age is allowing new forms of production to almost revolutionise what's going on in the economy. What do I mean by that? Well, 15 years ago, there was a record shop in every town and city. You don't see any record shop managers anymore. I took my kids to Vinyl Revival in Manchester, where I get all my, still can buy vinyl. Some of you might remember it. And I said to them, kids, this is what we used to listen to our music on before CDs. And my 7-year-old said to me, what's a CD? That's when I realised I was an old dad. But it also shows you what profound change there is. And that digital age is taking out a lot of jobs. It's estimated that the digitisation and automation has taken 800,000 jobs out of the economy since 2001. And we're only on the cusp of an explosion in automation. And what do I mean by that? Google have invented driverless cars. They have licensed driverless cars in 4 states in the US. They are about to mass produce the first driverless taxi. Now, I know that sounds like science fiction, but back in 1890, when there were horse and carriages, if you said to people, in 20 years' time, there will be horseless carriages, they would have thought we were mad. But that is what is happening. And by 2020, every major car manufacturer is going to be making driverless cars. And by 2020, you won't be using cashless tills in supermarkets. You'll be driving your trolleys out the front door, and it'll be debited from your credit card straight away. And by 2020, you won't be going to the bank in the high street. You'll be doing your banking on your phone, and you'll be paying for those supermarket goods on your phone. Just multiply all those changes, and you can see millions of jobs that will not exist anymore. Deloitte estimate that in a decade, there could be 11 million jobs in the UK that are automated. That is the most profound change to our economy since the Industrial Revolution. And you think about that a little bit. Think about what that impacts that's going to have on the lives of our children and their children. And you look back in history at that first wave of industrial change, when we started building looms and the Luddites set up secret societies
to smash the technology. That wave of industrial revolution had a profound impact on the world of work. It brought great wealth, it brought great philanthropy, it built the great cities. Our cities were formed in the Industrial Revolution. The town squares, the galleries, the museums, the architecture was formed in the Industrial Revolution. But there was a massive downside. Fetid slums, exploitation. Some people were living in parts of cities where there were no go areas for the police. Some people didn't even see the light of day. If you worked in a black country, they called it the black country because it was black by day because of the smog and red by night because of the furnaces lighting up the night sky. It created massive chaos. And the only way we changed that was through municipal leadership. At the time, capitalist philanthropy and the collective power of workers. The philosophy that has underpinned our movement for over a century, that we work together in partnership, that we dream big dreams, that we apply the change, the sort of power of the state to change people's working conditions. It's going to be our time again. And I did a speech this week to 900 employers with the Economic Engineering Employers Federation. Not an easy audience for the Deputy Leader of the Labour Party under Jeremy Corbyn. And I made this argument to them, and I made another argument. We need to distinguish between the interests of business and the interests of capital. People who run businesses, owners of businesses, some of them are here tonight. They are the ones that are going to be the lifeblood of the new economy. They are the ones who put back into society, not just through their taxes, through their social and cultural leadership. But with the new age of digital, there is a new wave of corporate governance. These tech platforms that are putting billions of dollars on their balance sheets, but not investing in the social infrastructure of countries. They're not invested in skills, in education and in health, because they're not paying their taxes. That's an unsustainable trajectory for any country and any economy. And it's hugely unsustainable when the predictions are that there are 11 million jobs in our economy that might not exist in a decade. That's the scale of change that is upon us. That's why I think we have to have hope and optimism. And that's why I think the time for radical thinking and radical leadership in our politics, though it is derided in the daily media, that time is upon us. That's why we are here tonight. That's why many of you joined the Labour Party, because you believe in a more socially just, fairer and equal society. And I say to those businesses, when we live in a society where automated systems and robots are liberating millions of hours of workers' time, we have to change our economy fundamentally. And it allows us to imagine things that were just inconceivable, even 5 years ago. A 4-day working week, a guaranteed income for every citizen. The idea that we can build public services of the highest standard, that people can have free education for life. That is the possibility in a society where automated systems are giving us massive productivity gains. But there's another future as well, a more dystopian one, where people who own those global corporations that own the automated systems are the only beneficiaries. That's not a society that trade unionists, that Labour Party members, the small business owners, that 11 million people whose jobs might be automated away can imagine. And the challenge for us is to make that big argument for the empowering state. And we've got a European referendum coming up. And some people want to make it about immigration. And I'm going to end on this point. If they say to you that their jobs are under threat because of immigration, you say no. Your jobs are under threat because of automation. And you need a Labour government to work through the challenges that that brings. And you need a European Union that have the political power to challenge the force of capital that is going to threaten your livelihood. These are big arguments and they're profound challenges for any politician. But I tell you who I want leading on that. I want George Osborne and I want John McDonnell. I don't want David Cameron and I don't want George Osborne. I want Jeremy Corbyn. I want John McDonnell. I don't want George Osborne and David Cameron. Can you imagine? Oh, okay, alright, I got it mixed up. That's probably where we need to change, right? Okay, I'm going to end there. Dave's going to lead on the karaoke and sing Go Danny Boy. That's what you want. Okay? Thank you.
The first item is, now this is a good one, because it's a hospitality day for two at Newcastle Races on St. Patrick's Day. Now, as you might have guessed, there's a bit of Irish in here. It entails match day, race day tickets, which allows you to do all areas of the race course. You get eel. You've got to buy your own drink, unfortunately. But it's a great day out. Will somebody start the ticket for two, meal, and your tickets? It's got to be worth £100. Somebody give me